Welcome to the Afters, uncut bonus content for our best friends behind the paywall. This week we're fucking around. Oh, wait, did I not pause for Chef? Sorry, Chef.
No, sir.
But this week we're fucking around with Jimmy and Larry after podcasting with the homie, Jay Massacre.
I love a name that rhymes.
I know.
Jay, even though we just learned that 5 minutes before we started recording, which is always, it's funny because you always got to ask because you do never know.
Yeah. And then it was tough with Jay because, like, usually with a guest, I can just like YouTube. At this point, it's like, yo, YouTube, just, Eddie Wong interview. Mm-hmm. Not that I know how to pronounce Eddie Wong's name, but it's like, just to make sure. And also, this man had a fucking TV show on Vice.
Eddie Huang? What the fuck?
Eddie Huang?
What the fuck is this shit?
But Jay, bizarrely, the only interview I could really find was in like a T magazine, like Scene Report, London, when I think he was working with Alexander McQueen.
Lee McQueen.
Lee McQueen.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Alexander and Lee McQueen?
Alexander McQueen is the brand and his name is Lee McQueen.
Okay. Did not fucking realize that.
No, I think a lot of people don't realize that, so I don't think you should feel bad. It's crazy to me. Well, it makes sense that he doesn't do any press because the crazy thing is how he doesn't use social media for that much outside of like, here's my work, it's a portfolio, which is admirable, but definitely old school, and I think shows like the generation that he's from, without a doubt.
I think it's more that it's just not like a first and foremost thing on his mind. Like, he doesn't. I think he's from a generation and has the mentality where he's not waking up and checking Instagram.
No, the work or is like the work.
How do I present myself to the world? Yeah. It's, but anyway, before we get into all that, let's do a fit check, Larry.
Oh shit! Or can we talk about Lee McQueen's secret Twitter too? We
embarrassed about Lee versus Alexander McQueen. God damn it.
You only had one instance where it came up on the show. He also called Canada Goose. He had a mistake where he said Snow Goose, so that's why I brought
Snow
it back.
Goose is the name of the hater subline.
Shows how much I fucking know. Yeah. Now who's stupid now? Me.
But you know what is interesting is that when he was talking about straight fashion nerds, and he was kind of describing not me at all. He's like, you guys know all the watches, you know all the fucking seasons, you know all the blah, blah, blah. And you know this, I'm more of a macro vibes guy.
You're a vibes guy.
If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm not going to know like the details. It's like how I consume sports. I don't know the fucking players. I just know the teams I like.
Yeah, but I will say the watch guy that he's talking about is a type of guy that's the under the hood mentality, which is watch, cars, tech.
No, but you're like that with fashion.
I mean,
I'm not saying that pejoratively. I'm saying you're the type of guy where the devil's in the details, and that's like a strength of yours.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, actually, Armani Jeans was launched in 1987 as part of a subset of Giorgio's fucking obsession with American denim and the Japanese take on it. You know what I mean?
Honestly, kind of that sounded right, dude.
Just words. John Salad.
Riffing word salad. Yeah. All right, should we do
fashion salad
fit check?
Yeah.
All right, the shoes are Karu Zomer collab. This is the brand though that made Kartik have to change it from Karu Research to Kartik.
Oh,
yeah,
the Silver Surfers.
Yeah, they're
it's a Zara collab.
No, Zomer, Zomer. It's a Parisian brand. They look like bowling shoes. They're like
they are, bro.
They're giving me Prada vibes. Well, they have
comfortable.
They're extremely comfortable.
They hit story. With those pants.
Yeah, no, different pair of pants.
Oh, such a vibe, bro.
Such a vibe, dude. I was just vibing out on IG stories.
Yo,
Jay can learn a little something from me.
With the Sylvies.
The
Sylvie Plaths.
Inside the Silver Surfers are Manresa socks. These cargo pants are Cheapy Company. The belt is Maximum Henry. The beater is Cortez. The shirt is Vintage Armani Jeans. The hat is Our Legacy Workshop. The sunglasses were Crap Eyewear.
Don't say that, bro. That's so mean.
The underwear. Are you going to just do that joke every time?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to point it out every time?
Am I going to point? I'm going to point it out. I'm pointing it out after you did it again.
Imagine if you named a brand.
You did it again.
I respect it again. Respect to crap. Respect to crap.
Yo, like, my man called the shit poop.
But like, yeah, imagine naming your brand Poop Shoes.
Yo,
poop bags.
My new sunglasses brand, Shit Optical.
Yeah,
I like it.
Poopy butt.
I'm into
poopy butt spectacles.
Honestly, some of the best value sunnies in the game.
Absolutely.
Crap only in name only.
Yeah, and I guess it is gonna garner attention, but it's like
I think it's funny.
All right.
The underwear are Skims, Rolly on the wrist. Wedding ring on the fingy, wifey on the pinky, chrome on the other hand. James, what are you wearing today?
The shoes are Asics Kiko gel styrax.
Oh, the styrax.
Yeah,
sounds like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't know why ASICS makes it so hard to name the gel styrax mule. Why Kiko and ASICS make their shoes so hard to name.
Yeah,
right. It's either like a fucking like robot like USB 1002 or made up words.
The T1000.
I think styrax is made up word.
Sounds made up as fuck, dude.
It's a variant of storax,
which is what?
A rare fragrant gum resin obtained from an Eastern Mediterranean tree, sometimes used in medicine, perfumery, and incense.
Fuck yeah, dude. See, that's the Kiko difference. That's some fucking next level shit.
Or it's a tropical or subtropical tree or shrub with showy white flowers in drooping clusters.
I love a drooping cluster.
Kiko, taking us to class.
Yeah.
The socks are some random Amazon brand. The jeans are Second Layer. The shirt is Emily Dawn EDL. The cufflinks. Also EDL. That's the EDL difference. The cowrie shell cufflinks. The bag.
Oh yeah, new bag.
Which I brought your bag in.
New bag alert.
Is Studio Nicholson Porter Yoshida.
Yeah, fire. They killed that.
Some crinkly Japanese nylon, which only I think builds their case for possible Fitties brand of the year.
Without a doubt, Jay's wearing the fucking polo. Jay, of all people, the most tasteful man in the game.
Yep.
Tells you everything you need to know. It's cool that you have this new office bag because we talked about bags recently and it seemed like you weren't a fan because you didn't have one that was like worthy. And now you have a worthy.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
We were talking about bags and totes. It was just like an aside as we are wont to do.
Well, Louis asked me about laptop bags for magazine.
You didn't ask me.
Sorry, bro.
And I'm first of all, I'm the guy who hung out with him.
Well, maybe he had enough. Maybe
No, this was after the story.
What does that tell you, bro?
This was after the story. And then also between us, I'm the guy. I got my PJ Daily Driver.
The best bag.
Yes, awesome for travel.
No. The best bag to carry your laptop in is no bag.
Right. That was your whole just raw dog in the tablet.
No, just fucking leave. Just leave your work at work.
Right.
Or like put yourself in a situation where you're not toting a laptop back and forth every single day.
We're not talking about strap length. We're talking about work-life balance, folks.
Yeah. But when I do have to tote shit back and forth between the office and the crib, which does come up time to time, this is going to be the new go-to because it used to just be the shitty tote, right? Which
whatever.
It's like kind of gross. You want something a little more elevated than just like, whatever free tote you got with some order you made. Yeah, so Studio Nicholson, Porter Yoshida, not necessarily collab of the year, but I think building Studio Nicholson's case in potential brand of the year.
No,
I think they're the first brand I put on the Fitties, if not Prada.
Yeah, I don't think it could be a collab of the year because it's only like 3 pieces, so it's like pretty small, but it's a capsule.
Yeah. The hat is Small Talk Studio. The sunglasses are Bottega Veneta. The cuff is Jill Sander. This one is Bottega Veneta, and the boxers are Hanes. Larry.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Jay,
styling.
what a fucking delight, bro.
Yeah. Let's talk about styling, dude.
He is someone that like, I don't know when this pod's coming out or when this after's coming out, but like, I was talking to someone and like, oh, like you got any good guests coming up? And I'm like, yeah, like, person A, person B, person C. And they're like, anyone you're excited about? I'm like, yo, honestly, Jay. Like Jay is the type of fashion homie that it's like been in this shit for decades. Stories on stories on stories and just fucking darts and like the type of guy that, again, seemingly never given an interview except to tell somebody at tea that his favorite drink is Grey Goose with 3 limes, which is why I brought a Ziploc bag full of limes.
Okay, but he asked for the.
Now he's a tequila slut, like you were saying.
Oh right, he wanted.
Tequila hoe whiskey slut.
Right, he needed the tequila nips.
Yeah.
By the way, good little liquor store over on Allen Street Liquors. I have no idea.
To know.
I had to Google it. I was like, because I'm not like drinking on pod because that usually goes extremely poorly.
Yeah,
for everybody involved besides me. No, Jay, listen, you know that he doesn't give interviews, but when TF comes knocking, bro. That's big bro right there, man. He's going to show up for us.
No, I'm not even being facetious. Like
I'm being totally sincere.
But it's like the Aaron Levine style podcast, right? And talking to Aaron Levine before he was had 6 figgies on IG and doing Zara collaborations.
You're welcome.
But a guy like Jay, I think is like the type of dude that we need to like surface and take into his brain and like document this shit because we're losing our languages, Lawrence. We're losing our languages.
I guess, sure.
So shout out Jay for just being the fucking man.
Yeah, that's a lot of like talk about in a variety of things. This is how things used to be. If you know, you know. He's like he's a throwback to a different era in like the best possible way. I'm not trying to like be ageist or anything. And
but also not the type of guy that's like necessarily shitting on like, oh, kids these days.
No, not at all. I mean, I think he's one of those old heads that's still inspired by the youngins. Which
he had the Uncle loafers on for sure.
Yeah, I was, when he said that they're the wave, I was like, oh, and then I saw the crushable heel because I'm like, are these like fucking like Joseph A. Bank? I'm like, what are these, dude? But like, again, he like wears it so well. You made a great point. He's like the almost platonic aspirational ideal, of like the TF, like has the TF wardrobe, but like the highest end version of the loafers, the best jeans, the best polo, but like just so tasteful. I don't know. Well, he's tasteful.
Yeah. Although the one caveat there, he's like, I don't know if he said this on mic or when you were pissing, but he's like, I'm a fucking butch ass queen. Like he is in the fashion world, I think particularly very like mask presenting.
Oh, 100%.
And so the fact that he is like loving the brands that are right in the TF wheelhouse, Studio Nicholson, like you said, Lagace, like you mentioned, Orally, obviously a big one. Orslo jeans.
Yeah. Crazy cosign. That's my point, really.
Is that it's like, yeah, this is actually like exactly what I aspire to dress in every single day.
Yeah. And I think that what speaks volumes about Jay too is that like he's a guy that like obviously now a friend of the program officially, but like he's someone, at least for me, where like I saw the work before I met the man, which was the styling work that we talked about a little bit that he did on this Hermes press trip that we went on, where it's like crazy conceptual, almost like costume design for like this scavenger hunt thing press trip that we were like a part of. But like
the Hermes press trip that you fucking loved and the Hermes press trip that made me start going to therapy.
That's right. Which is honestly the ultimate, speaking of cosigns. That's like
but if the press trip fucks you up so bad that you seek out mental help, you know it's good.
One final point in that press trip. I thought the recap episode was hilarious. I think a lot of people liked it. It does deserve to be said though that we have never been invited back to another press trip since that episode aired.
Yeah, I mean that press trip did have a cast a wide net of like 250 people. But yeah, Jay's work on there, the tie, the yet tie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was probably a highlight where it's like this is a catchphrase or a phrase that he mentioned a few times where he's like, as a stylist, you are making stories.
Yep.
Which sounds so simple, but I never really thought about it like that in my extremely limited, possibly just 2 instances of styling. You know, it was just like put the clothes on the guy.
Right. Which is only 33.3% of the work, apparently.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like making a story and like almost challenging the brand and the people around him to like think beyond just what the image, ultimately the image is like the most important thing, but like then what can that image then, how do you extend the life of that image?
Yeah.
And to more than just like a picture.
Right. No, totally. And I think honestly, perfect timing because he just dropped the work he did with Jacques Mou around like the LA opening and that banana kind of capsule collection for the opening with Uncle Rico, aka fucking Greg from the White Lotus, which is crazy. So I mean,
what's his name? G-Reg.
Yeah, obviously this will come.
Oh
out.
no, is Greg from White Lotus gonna be the next fucked up looking old guy that we glaze into death?
Yo, I hated that it had to be Walton Goggins, but like it's out of control with this shit. Someone also made a comment. That was really interesting was, who's the other person?
Kyle MacLachlan.
Because Defoe caught a stray there. Because Defoe is the enemy, dude. William the enemy, bro. But fucking McLaughlin got fucking torched, bro.
Yeah. I think it should have been Fran Lebowitz.
She's not there yet. Also, Fran is always just in Fran's uniform. She's not walking the red carpet. She's not being dressed.
You know what? We talked about this a few weeks ago. For me, Fran is more about the sig glazing pandemic that I think needs to we need to reel that in a little bit.
I had such an interesting time talking to you about sig glazing. As
right? Wasn't that great?
Glazes sig. So I can't wait for y'all. I'm so happy y'all got to hear that. I think is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you've talked about some of the styling that you've done before, but you mentioned that you did a Boast shoot to me, and I don't.
Okay, so I've done 2. When I was hired at Complex, it was to be the assistant market editor, the Ask Mark editor under Matthew Henson, right? But I think I mentioned there was Noah Johnson on that episode. He just kind of had me making listicles.
Yeah.
So Matthew was a little like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like I brought this kid in to like do all the bullshit or whatever, like the lesser styling jobs and market jobs that like. I, as the guy doing the covers and like working with the sales team and placating the advertisers, and now working at Louis full time and doing work with The Weeknd and Rocky and Rocky's work with Bottega and all that. Yeah, I was the fucking guy that was just be like, all right, like here's a guy wearing some pants. So I think I mentioned the one time where I was just like in the complex studio, just like shooting on a white seamless, and Noah Johnson came in. He's like, what? He's like, why is he?
The fuck?
That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, his pan is all fucked up.
You're the stylist.
I was like, oh, and he's like, he was literally like, you're the stylist. Like, go fix that shit. I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was just here to make lists. The only other time I had a styling gig, and I think this is like my second and last, was Ryan Babenzine, brother of Brendan Babenzine, who is the founder and creative director of not streetwear brand Noah.
Yeah. And J. Crew. Men's.
He had, Ryan did, I think he did
Magic.
Gourmet. He did Gourmet sneakers.
Greats sneakers. That brand, Greats. Gourmet was John Buscemi.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, Brian might have been this. He's like part of that fucking cabal of like unk streetwear guys that like were, but he did Greats. He does Jolie now and the
Showerheads.
That's and making bags everywhere he goes. But they bought, back in the day, the license to that brand Boast.
Okay. So Boast was I think New York City based tennis brand in the 70s that famously John McEnroe wore, I think when he won a slam.
All-time logo, a Japanese maple leaf that just looks like weed.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, we're the bad boys of tennis.
There's a great picture of George W. Bush wearing Boast as a young Gohart as well. Like
when he's a cheerleader, right?
All-time Zood. I don't know, but it's like an all-time Zood that people love to.
Yeah, you don't know how much fucking they leaned on those two photos of John McEnroe and George Bush wearing the weed leaf polos. So anyway, I don't know if this was like a SpawnCon thing or like highlighting this like new brand or old brand that had come back, but I had to go to a tennis club in Midtown, like Midtown East, like rich money, like East 50s, into this tennis club that I didn't know existed called like Midtown Tennis Club, where it's in the fucking basement. It's a clay court, red clay. I think there's 2 courts. And we had to go after hours. So it's like a 10 o'clock shoot. And that's obviously why like Matthew, I think, just passed on to me.
I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah. It's like 10 o'clock on a fucking Thursday. And that was my one job, was to like put these 2 models in Boast clothing and shoot them playing tennis. They both sucked at tennis, by the way.
I'm sure.
Honestly, one of the guys, he kept doing this jumping thing that was like reminiscent of the very last scene in Challengers.
Oh, shit.
Where one of the guys, whatever, jumps over the net, which is
physically not tennis.
Physically impossible. You lose the point. And then like them shooting them in the locker room. And the photos were actually, if I fucking scroll back my IG long enough.
Oh, yeah. You put them because it's your portfolio.
Exactly.
Got to hit grid with the work, guys.
I think I might have
learned anything from Jay.
I don't know if the weed leaf emoji was like existed back then.
The Japanese maple leaf emoji.
Japanese maple leaf emoji.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I came back, or when the photos came back, they were like,
was it advertorial?
That's what I just said. I don't know if you're listening, but
sorry,
I think they were like, what the fuck? Like
this
stop.
This fucking
no more styling for that guy.
This stylist must have been smoking a little too many Japanese maple leaves.
I'm positive this is on my fucking IG.
You'll find it.
Well, anyway, but yeah, I think that was the very last time I was ever entrusted with any styling work, because also I didn't know what styling was.
Right.
Well, like I thought it was just like, all right. I thought it was more logistical. Like, all right, here's the clothes. This is what you're wearing.
Not like making the guys like look actually desirable.
Like these are the looks. Right. Like, okay, put this on now, please. Thank you.
I definitely, I feel like fell victim to a similar mentality where it's like,
here we go.
Like a fake it till you make it.
Oh yeah. Oh, yo. What's the guy doing?
Smoking fucking cigs, dude.
See, I've been glazing cigs as a creative crutch since what year was that?
2013.
What's the caption?
Well, this is highly inappropriate with Boast USA. Damn, dude, you were flexing. We got 13 likes and 1 comment. Let's see the 1 comment. One comment is from Jonathan, our old director. That's how I do. I don't know in reference to what, smoking cigs in the locker room, Jonathan.
I guess.
No, the idea of faking it till you make it and not even knowing what a stylist really did, even to this day, with all of the nerdy knowledge that I have accumulated about fashion, like you kind of mentioned earlier.
Post USA, by the way, does not exist.
Not even remotely shocked about that. It would be awesome if you clicked on it and went to Jolie. But is that what it's called, Jolie?
I think so.
I have one. We got one.
Really?
They just send them out for free to anybody, and it's fucking good.
I had to install one in my ex's bathroom.
Did you ever use it?
No.
Pretty good what is it? Filter, water pressure? I don't know.
Well, the whole thing is that there's a filter in the shower head.
It's a millennial shower head. It's definitely better than the old shower head Jenna and I had from Bed Bath & Beyond. But so now when we talk to a stylist who's incredible like Jay, or like, you know, just seeing styling work all over my fucking, you know, social media like everybody else in 2025, it just reminds me of when I was styling at Grailed, and you know, we worked with a bunch of clients, primarily like Cardi was the number one, like just completely having no real semblance in any gig that I did, just always basically getting my ass handed to me, like whether it was on a music video with the directors, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, or like going to, you know, shoot a fader cover and like, you know, the art director photographer being like, but who's this fucking guy? Like, what is this? Cardi's like adopted second cousin once removed. Like, why does this guy have the job? Just like,
is this the white guy from Odd Future?
Exactly. Like just truly having like no real semblance. And then the whole idea of a stylist, like pulling and having connections at these brands and showrooms and all this stuff, like because Grailed had functionally like our own showroom, like always just pulling from in-house. I never even had to like do that part of the job, which is like, you know, the politicking and the networking and discovering of new brands, because everything was just archive shit that was already there.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
When you were doing PR and loaning out samples,
I didn't do that. That wasn't a function of what I was there. Like whatever my jobs were, that was never one. So I never had to do that. You know, I never had to loan out. I mean,
is that you didn't do it, or you just meh? Is that you didn't have to do it, or you just didn't do it? I think it's more that you didn't do it.
It's possible.
Because when I took your job, I did that all the fucking time.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that.
All right, makes sense.
So yeah, whether it was
that
me
tracks.
shirking responsibilities or
not even knowing the responsibilities that you were shirking.
Dude, I'm so bad at my job. I don't even know what the job description is supposed to. I don't even know what I'm supposed to try to avoid to do.
Well, I mean, I've told the story, but when I inherited your laptop, I was like, they're like, all right, everything you need should be on there. I'm like, there's nothing on here. They're like, did he wipe it? I'm like, no, there's just nothing on
this
here.
Laptop will self-destruct in 30 seconds. Yeah, dude, it's
this
just,
job, should you choose to take it?
should you? Yeah, I mean, listen, I said, you know, honestly, I'm such a good friend. Like I set you up so that you couldn't possibly be doing worse than me.
Wow,
I set the bar intentionally low for my boys. No, I mean, like all my styling stuff, I'm proud of it. And like, it all lives on my grid. Cause at the time I had like aspirations of like, this is going to be my future. I'm going to be a stylist. And like, you know, I did some other gigs. Like I did a High Snob Levi's gig that I styled, but like, again, that's like all the clothes were provided. So it was really like, and Jay made a great point about the 33.3% of the work, which is just putting someone in cool clothes. I really thought that was 100% of it. And even though I stand by all the work I did, and I think that that era of Cardi swag was like definitely part of like his lore and his story, which has become fucking, you know, astronomical nuclear. But like, I really was missing 2/3.
Well, that's never
discovered it.
That's the je ne sais quoi difference, right? Of like, of a good stylist doth make, where it's like, 100%. Yeah, you can put the guy in the clothes, but like, how do you actually create like what will ultimately be a final fire fucking image?
Yeah.
And knowing what it should be, and then working, understanding and working and ticking off every box, working backwards from there.
The story
you can't just
is
put the guy in the clothes.
The story is this guy looks fucking sick. What do you mean there needs to be more?
They're smoking cigs in a locker room, bro. That's highly inappropriate.
Yeah,
I'm just like the brand.
I'm surprised that
that photo actually is what bankrupted the brand.
I mean, it's possible, right? Because you can't be smoking in a fancy, you know, private tennis club locker room, dude. It's just blasting a fucking cig. The guy's like all fucking sprawled out. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I'm so fucking cool, dude. Actually, I didn't have my mic there. Oh yeah, dude, I'm so fucking cool, man. We just played tennis. I'm fucking smoking right now, bro.
Oh damn. Greg Babcock did an interview.
Nice. Chuck, can we use Souls of Mischief 93 till Infinity for the that's a great song.
Are they still on
are they still
on no, are they in DSPs?
Yeah, Souls of that song is like one of the most famous rap songs of all time. It's honestly a banger. I'm gonna listen to that on the way home. And that has been another episode of the fucking
I gotta find this, god damn it.
Don't you have to go somewhere?
Yeah. Got to go to therapy since I talked about I knew the Hermes trip was going to come. So I was like, book another session.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Because I was in Madrid in Spain. All right. This is another episode of the Afters.
25 till infinity, baby. You know, it's the only fucking podcast that matters, bitch.
May 1st. It's J Day. Chef, take us out.